are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by...
Me, CosmoMom09.
And Bridget. You can find me at youtube.com/@PunkyBrewster. It's PUNKYBRUISETER. I don't know what I just said, but it's fine.
I think you did okay, and I think you need to raise your volume because it's been a while since we've recorded. It's been at least 2 weeks. While Bridget does that, we'll tell you while we're here, and as you may have seen on your screens, there's a new overlay, and there's a new series, possibly, and we warned you that we might cover the series. And if you kept up with things, I think you'd just see that we did do it in the end. And that is, we are discussing sci-fis, not SCI-FI like it was back in the old days, 20 years ago, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. This channel is called... What's that?
I resent that, but thank you.
I hate your face. And...
So rude.
It's SYFY.
Wow. It's just catching strays here.
It's kind of aggressive really fast.
I hate your face.
Well,
where'd that come from?
Rachel, it's like you say, you know, when you love somebody and you miss them, you basically the worst to them, right, Rachel? You know better than anybody else.
Yes. And as do you, because I probably treat you the worst.
I am learning from the best. Anyway, we're here to talk about sci-fi's revival. I think it's great. And I think you should think it's great too. And if you don't, that's actually okay. It's okay that you don't like this series. But we're here to talk about the series premiere, the pilot of Revival, which is based off of the Image comic by the same name. And
oh, well, I didn't know that.
That's right. Well, I thought you might. And I was about to tell you right before we jumped on that you should check it out. Maybe you could be the comics person. But,
no, I could be
there.
But we'll see.
I'm startled by how high my level is already, Dave. So
no, you're fine.
You sound good. David sounds quiet to me.
Yeah, okay. I sound quiet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, I should be fine.
I don't know. He sounds fine to me. So I'm not really sure what's going on. But
well, I guess he's quiet compared to you. Like you sound nice and crisp in my ears.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh God, am I up too loud again?
No, you sound very nice in my ears, and then David's just a little bit lower.
That's the way the tinnitus crumbles, man.
Of course, David's used to being lower.
Yeah, it's on brand. Yes. So the first episode is titled Don't Tell Dad, which before we get into that, we should tell people that before we do anything else, we just finished up the Walking Dead Cities coverage. I think it's great. I think you... this is something that we...
go watch it.
What?
So go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. But
leave.
We will
right now.
We will be discussing that. I think.
Watch it right now.
Yeah, no, don't watch it right now. Especially if you're here right now.
Oh my gosh,
dear Lord in heaven. Do you want to take over, Rachel?
Yeah, let's keep this train moving.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, talk about railroads and derailing. Yes, we did that. The Walking Dead City Season 2. That was fun. 8 episodes of mostly live streams, I think it was. Yeah, with one exception, I think. We went live basically the entire run. Check that out. I think we will be revisiting this season in terms of a live stream. We haven't confirmed it, but we may be bringing a couple of guests on to discuss how that season went. In contrast to many of the spinoffs and the flagship show, everybody has an opinion because everybody has buttholes. And I think it's a great idea to kind of do like a series ender recap based on some of the conversations we've had surrounding how a series has been designed for binge watching versus the week to week. And I'm basing this off of a comment that Bridget had made during our coverage with respect to that. It's almost as if they're not designing this series for a week to week watch, rather a sort of binge watch. And I think that's a fair assessment. And I kind of want to see if that holds up by way of bringing on a couple of guests to talk about it with us. Namely, we're trying to get on, it's fair to say this, we were on the MCU's Bleeding Edge channel with Jeff and Andres. on a couple of episodes, and I think it would be great to have them on. And I think I want to bring on a couple more people, at least one, if not more. And we'll have a little party it'll be chaos, just like this season of The Walking Dead Dead City was anyway. So somebody will be the Croat, somebody will be Negan, somebody will be annoying like Maggie, right, Rachel? You can cosplay Maggie. You can be like, I'm Maggie. Like, you'll do it like mockingly, right?
Yeah,
Somebody kill me, please. Anyway. Okay, we'll talk about the series now. I don't think there's much else. I cannot wait to get to actually dig into the website and some of the things that we've been wanting to catch up on. There's specials that we have to actually edit up that we have had in the can for a while now. But let's talk about this episode now. I'm glad you're here with us, Tess, as well as Jason. Neo's the one. On all the socials, Neo's one HE spelled out WONE.
Nope.
No. I spell good. Dyslexia much, maybe? I don't know. Undiagnosed. So, yeah. Let's talk about this. Go ahead.
I have a couple things to share, Dave.
Oh, well, I would love that for you.
Okay. I have a couple things to share related to the show. I'm not gonna take us off into a tangent.
Okay, but we'll go into your channel, by the way, at the end of our
Well,
broadcast. Because I know you finished up your limited series lounge, but go ahead.
Oh, wait.
The first one.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay. So I wanted to mention, and I mentioned this to Dave privately, I believe. We agreed to cover Revival, and Dave was like, Bridget, you'd probably really like this show. It's like right up your alley. And I was like, yeah, okay. Because, when you tell me I'm going to like things, I'm like...
Oppositional defiance disorder. No, I don't have it, Dave.
Don't have that. I don't have it. So I was pretty convinced I was not going to like it. I was wrong. I did really enjoy it, actually. More than I thought I was going to. But I have to say, and this makes sense now that I know that it's based off of a comic, because I didn't know that. And happily, I will read that comic book. But this is kind of like a done storyline. Do you know what I mean? This is like a storyline we've seen before.
Super tropey.
Okay.
Yes.
Not in a bad way.
No. Yeah. That's the point.
Anyway, I want to mention just a few shows that this resembles. Okay? I've just got a couple for you. All right, bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, the first
Bridget made
I'm
a
going
list.
to mention, I did, is called Resurrection, which was an American television series that aired only 1 year on ABC. This is the one I remembered, Dave, when I was like, I feel like I watched a show like this.
Yeah, if you say the cast, I'll probably remember as well.
Yes, it aired from March 9th, 2014 to January 25th, 2015 on AMC. It was based on Jason Mott's 2013 novel called The Returned. Okay. This was called Resurrection, and it starred Omar Epps, Francis Fisher, Matt Craven, Devin Kelly. Omar Epps really is the one who's like
memorable.
What a hunk. Anyway.
What a snack, as the kids say.
The series follows the residents of Arcadia, Missouri, whose lives are upended when their loved ones return from the dead, unaged since their deaths. So like a little different. Okay.
Glitch much?
Shh! Don't rush.
We talked about this a little bit.
On the return is Jacob Langston, an 8-year-old boy who drowned in 1982.
Yeah.
Having been found alive in China, Jacob is brought back to the U.S. by an immigration agent named Marty Bellamy. That's your Omar Epps character, who defies orders and returns Jacob to his parents. Henry and Lucille, Jacob's surprise return inspires his uncle, Arcadia Sheriff Fred Langston, and Fred's daughter, Dr. Maggie Langston, whose wife/mother drowned while allegedly trying to rescue the boy, to learn more about this mystery. Caleb Richards, the father of Maggie's best friend, Elaine Richards, becomes the second Arcadia resident to return, and he warns that there are many more to follow. Does it sound interesting? Because guess what? It got canceled.
Yeah, I was
so
like,
you'll
I was
never
like,
know.
I was like listening. I'm like, wait, this sounds A, convoluted, and B, where is the thread here
Yeah,
where
I
that
know.
connects everything?
It canceled the series after 2 seasons.
Oh, well, it got a
so-
second
Can't believe
season.
it went that
It
long.
did. However, the first season was only 8 episodes, so
Oh,
it
sounds
was like
familiar.
short. I feel like it was a mid-season replacement, or maybe it was a summer. No, it was mid-series. Mid-season. I mean, okay, that's just
What do you
number
mean by
one.
that,
Number
by the
two.
way? Mid-season replacement for another show?
A mid-season replacement is when a show gets canceled mid-season. They sometimes will replace it with a brand new show. It often happens for pilots that like don't get picked up in the first like big fall drop. A lot of the time will maybe get dropped as a mid-season replacement. They often only have a handful of episodes.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Anyway. Okay.
So they buy like a handful of episodes and they're like, maybe we'll
It's
keep
like
going.
maybe they'll have like an order for 6 to 13 episodes. And so that'll be like the mid-season replacement will run until summer, from like January until summer is usually when that happens. Is like January is when it'll drop.
Yeah, they'll decide whether it's worth finishing first and then second,
Correct.
whether it keeps going.
I've lost a lot of shows to
Yeah.
a mid-season replacement. Anyway,
Hence your limited series lounge-ish.
the next, no, cancellation devastation.
Devastation. Yeah, you're right. That's more that one.
The Returned is my next one, which is also maybe based on the same exact book. Not really sure. Names are changed to protect the innocent. I don't really know. It's an American supernatural drama series developed by Carlton Coos, that's an unfortunate last name.
Yeah.
As an adaptation of the 2012 French series Les Revenants.
So the
which
Revenant?
was say it right, which was broadcast internationally as The Returned. The American adapted series follows residents in a small town whose lives are disrupted when people who have been dead for many years begin reappearing. Anyway, this aired on A&E, so we're talking some top tier entertainment here. And the series premiered on March 9th, 2015. So again, pretty much the same time that the other show aired. We were getting a lot of these shows all at once, so good call revival waiting 10 years. And then it was canceled after 1 season.
Oh,
so
surprise.
Yeah.
They didn't learn their
Surprise.
lesson the first time.
No, my last one that I will mention is Glitch, an Australian supernatural drama television
Wow, it
series
sounds like
developed
something
by
we've never
Tony
talked about before.
Harris and Louise Fox, which was set in the fictional country town of Urana, Victoria, and follows 7 people who return from the dead in perfect health but with no memory. No one in the town knows why the deceased have returned. Now, this also premiered on ABC in 2015. I just want you to realize
Did you say ABC?
that 2 of these shows were on ABC in the same time frame.
Oh.
That's weird, but okay. Although the show bears remarkable similarity to the 2012 French series Les Revenants, which was broadcast internationally as The Returned and adapted as an American series with that title, the writers insist Glitch was not influenced by it. The first script was written.
It definitely isn't, because if you made it to the latter
I'm sorry.
seasons.
This is an exact quote. Quote, the first script was written before I even saw the French film of The Returned, end quote. In October 2015, ABC TV renewed the show for a second season of 6 episodes, which did air in 2017.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Series 2 follows James and the Risen as they begin to unravel the mystery of how and why they are back. This was also made available on Netflix in 2016.
Right.
So
Which is where I watched it, and I think Rachel watched it as well.
Anyway, that's just 3 of them. This doesn't even go into like shows that are not the same because the people aren't dead but are presumed to be dead, like the 4400.
Right.
But I just wanted you guys to know this concept's been done, but we haven't.
So that's what you meant. That's a long explanation of this concept's been done.
Well, I just wanted to give you the background. There's
understand.
a lot of them. I feel
We're
like
just
people are
funny
gonna be
people.
like, this sounds
I just
familiar.
want you to know. I recognize that we're funny people.
I am hilarious. Sometimes.
Hey.
So is that Lucy or is that
It's Fiona.
Oh, the devil, right?
No,
See,
Lucifer's over
Neo
here.
says he watched Resurrection, and he seems to watch all of these types of shows. So,
What do you think of all the shows that Bridget just watched?
just taking a walk down memory lane for you. That's all.
I actually enjoyed
But
Glitch.
we're here to talk about this one in particular.
Exactly.
Okay, I have one more thing. I promise it's not related to.
Oh, Bridget.
Okay, I know.
Go ahead.
What a doozy. I know. Then I'll just shut up for
I got
like a half.
30
I'll
minutes.
shut up for a
guys.
half an hour.
She'll,
and
she'll
Rachel
go to the
can just talk.
bathroom.
30
She'll shut up for half an like
Okay.
peace out. Bye.
Okay, I'll shut up for a half an hour after this. Okay,
I
so
promise.
the coroner in the first scene, who later comes back.
Randy,
Okay.
you mean?
Yes. Randy is played by one of my husband's favorite YouTubers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. He on YouTube, you can find him. He's very funny. His is at audio opera
Wait, say that again. You kind of broke up.
and audio opera.
Okay.
And his name is Graham Barrett. And he is hilarious. And I do have one of his best YouTube shorts pulled up right now. But we don't have to show it if you don't want to.
We can surely show it and then give them credit
Okay.
for it.
Okay.
And then
it's,
list it in the
it's
blog.
very short. It's a short, so it's very, very short. Okay, hold on.
Hopefully it'll play right on my... Yeah, it should play right on my side.
Okay. Here you go.
But yeah, Jason, Neo's the one. You guys praise Glitch. So yeah, I think you should watch it. It gets weird. But yes, I know this clip, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it's so good. All right.
Oh, wait, I feel like I've seen that.
We were in the middle of our tournament where my friend John said he found a body in the bushes over there. I ran over there because I'm a healing monk to try and help, but obviously my magic wasn't strong enough because the dude's body was missing a head. So my friend decided to try and use a necromancer spell, which didn't work, which I knew it wouldn't. And apparently we contaminated the crime scene because that spell uses a lot of glitter. We were in the middle of our
That's
tournament.
the one. Yep.
You're welcome.
It's so funny because
just
like I
needed to
recognized
show
him, but like I didn't know from where. And now I know.
I was telling Rachel the second I heard his voice, like I didn't even have
Oh
to
my
see
gosh.
him. I was like, Travis, get in here.
But
Well,
he-
because you
so
hear
excited.
him before you see him.
all the
Yeah,
schlocky lines too were like, oh, Bridget's gonna eat this up.
Oh yeah, it was made even better by the fact that it was this guy.
Yeah. Enhanced factoids. It's kind of like when I told Rachel that the lead actress, was it Melanie Scrofano? I have to...
Mrs. McMurray.
Yes.
She will only and forever be Mrs. McMurray.
Yeah. Mrs. McMurray is Mrs. McMurray from
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny. Yeah, essentially. For those who don't know, another
was
show
she
that's
on
pretty great.
Winona Earp?
Yes, she is also in Winona Earp.
She's Winona Earp.
Winona
Okay.
Earp. Sharon D.
Winona.
We're Sharon D here. She'll say Winona.
Winona.
Yeah.
It's
I'm on the
spelled with a
Y.
Y.
And it's also Nevada, not Nevada. It's also
Yeah, it's
Oregon,
Nevada.
not Oregon.
Colorado.
It's Oregon.
Or did I say I said Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah, it's Oregon.
Oregon.
Not Oregon.
like a heart.
Like Oregon.
Not
Yeah,
Oregon.
like the Oregon Trail.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's keep
Just
going.
kidding. It's the Oregon Trail. I don't know. I say it different when it's a different thing.
Although
pecan. It depends on what I'm saying.
I when I was a kid, I said Mario.
Oh,
It's a
no.
very
course you
common,
did.
No.
very
Of
common
course
New
you
Jersey
did.
thing to say. By the way,
I just want to go home and play Super Mario.
Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, that's right.
All right,
Mario's
I'll shut
Pizza.
up now. It's Rachel. It's Rachel's turn to talk.
No,
Oh
it
my
isn't.
God.
Uh,
No, David will talk now.
no, I just wanted to get her name right. I didn't write it down. God damn it.
Mrs. McMurray.
Yeah.
It's Mrs. McMurray. MRS dot MC.
And scene. No, it's Melanie Scrofano, not Scrofino. That's it. There we go. Canadian actress, etc., etc. Okay, Scruffy. She plays Dana Cypress, who is Officer Dana Cypress, the lead actor on the show. Boom, 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 Rachel. In terms of the title, which is Don't Tell Dad, how does that relate to this episode?
I mean, there's really not much thought to it. It's exactly what her sister says. It's a line in the episode.
Whose sister?
When she finds out, not too dramatically, by the way. Shut up. I do. I really do. if you're here watching the show, then you've seen well, okay, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe they
See?
haven't.
Well,
maybe
spoiler
not.
alert,
That's
we're going to
true.
talk about it.
So Dana's
spoiler
sister,
alert.
M.
If you're here, we're going to talk about the episode, so you're going to find out some things. So yes, Dana's sister Martha, who prefers to be called M, the letter M captions, not EM. That was
I
super
know.
annoying,
Yeah.
very annoying.
Apparently
that was
that's
a very
the same in the comic, by the way. So I guess.
oh.
It's like when, by the
Okay.
way,
Anyway, that's
Chicagoans call the L train not the letter L, but it's LEL for elevated train. Don't know why. It's fine.
But then EL would make sense because it's
Right.
Okay. Anyway, that whole reveal was not surprising, right? Like
Okay.
I knew the second they showed her that she was dead.
Thank you. I knew as soon as she was in the bathtub.
Yeah, I assumed she was dead in the tub.
But do you know
And when
why?
and when her roommate knocked on the door, she was like, "Oh, time to wake up!" Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought that was
I
her
know
coming
why.
back to life.
Yeah, I know why. Do you know why, dude?
Yeah,
Why
because
I
she's
assume
dead?
I know why.
of course Bridget knows why, because it's called media literacy. Also, it's called Chekhov's gun, not Kafka's gun, by the way.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know.
So I knew she was dead the whole time. So at the end when they like show the wound healing, I'm like, yeah, and
Duh. I
they're
know.
like, don't tell dad. I'm like, doesn't your dad already know? Because he literally made mention of your condition. He's like, you shouldn't be running about in your condition.
That is not why.
That's not
Well,
why.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Obviously.
But there's a lot that goes on in this episode that's
Even when
not
he
spoken.
said that, I'm like, oh yeah, he knows she's dead too. Like, or not dead, but not
Revived.
revived. Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So yeah, that was not shocking at all.
No, I didn't think so either.
It was supposed to be
I'm
this
glad you
big
said
reveal,
that.
and I'm like, and
I think that's why I like the series a bit more, because I can kind of chill out on the whole mystery part. Like, there's enough murder mystery to be like, why this? Why that? Why teeth? Why railroad spike traps? That's the cool part, is like how creative the story is in terms of how it's laying out certain of mystery items. That part in particular, ironically, it's kind of ironic that part in particular we could see coming a mile away. But maybe not everybody else did, though. Which is kind of like
yeah,
to say,
that's
you know,
true.
it's like, okay.
It's true. Now, I am interested to know, first of all, do the revived people remember how they died? And two,
Oh, I love that question.
if they do, well, my theory is that they might possibly not remember, because I'm putting all my chips on M being killed by her teacher lover.
I thought the same thing.
Children
But I
teacher
also
lover.
thought something else.
Her
I've got a
yeah.
couple theories.
So there is evidence that they do remember how they died. And that is in the form of the interview that the mayor had with one of the revived, who is the barbecue smoker guy in town.
yeah,
He said, I had a shooting pain up my arm, and then it went black, and then instantly, it's like I blinked and I came back to life. I love this bit of news, this bit of intel, because A, they remember how they died, when they died, and they also don't remember. It's literally a blink for them from the time they passed, within the 2-week time period from the 4th to December 18th. It's a blink. They're instantly back, and they're somewhere else, probably in a grave.
Does that say 2 weeks from July 4th to December something?
December 18th, yeah.
Your math is not mathing. That is not 2
December 4th
weeks.
to 18th is 2 weeks.
You said July.
July
at
4th.
first.
Did I say?
Yeah.
I said no. I said the 4th. I didn't say what month.
Oh, maybe I just
thought
you
you had that in
I
your head.
inferred the July part.
Because in case people don't know, and they're watching this in the future, we just had our Independence Day in the U.S. and we call it the 4th. Not May the 4th, July the 4th. This is December 4th to December 18th is that period of people who died within that time frame, how are revived. But yeah, I like that idea that he woke up. He didn't even wake up. He didn't fall asleep. To him, it went black, and then instantly it was like a blink. He came back. That's how he put it. And so that says two things. A, it was a blink for them, but B, for them, it highly between that factoid and the fact of the woman whose husband passed just before the
day
fourth
before. That
Just-
was so sad.
shows how accurate the time period is. Like you could say, oh, but maybe he did fall in the, maybe it's nebulous. Maybe Scott Gimple, maybe timelines are, a feeling, not math. But no, they stuck to a rigid time frame.
But they're also saying that it's not just that 2-week time frame, right? Because unless I misunderstood, Mrs. McMurray was talking about what if people just fall asleep, die in their sleep, and then wake up in the morning and don't even know that they're a reviver.
That's like also a Chekhov's gun, I think.
Or is she referring to that?
She's
2
referring to
span?
the 2 weeks. She's referring
okay.
to the 2 weeks.
Not
She's just saying like
current.
you could have died in your sleep and you wouldn't have even known. You could be revived and you wouldn't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Right.
How would you find out unless you get severely hurt and then instantly heal?
Wah. Exactly. And we're going to probably see situations like that as well. I have a question for both of you because I had watched this first episode. I haven't watched any of the other episodes. We should probably go through this factoid so that everybody knows where we're at in terms of knowledge. I have not. I watched a few minutes into the second episode, but no more, and which is essentially saying I kind of just didn't even put it in my head. But since my first watch, I only got through 2/3 or kind of like 3/5 of the first episode in terms of notes. So I have a question. Does Martha die after she tries to confront her professor in the chronology of the episode, or she died way before that, like within the 2-week period?
So when she confronts Teacher Lover, she's already revived.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I had a feeling that was the case, but
Yeah.
I thought my memory kind of failed me. And I thought maybe it was after, like, oh, I'm supposed to meet you at 7, he says.
I had
and then-
like 300 thoughts when it came to Martha.
I did too, by the way.
I am all over the place when it comes to her and her death. Because when Mrs. McMurray finds her on the bench, I'm like, oh, she died she froze to death on the bench and then came. And I'm like, no, that doesn't work either. But maybe
Well, she kind of comes up over the median. Like in that this is what I'm remembering from my first watch. She kind of comes up over the median, implying that she washed up at a bank, right? And climbed up over the railing.
I missed
no.
that part. If that was said, I don't remember that.
No, I think it was shown. Oh, I have not gotten notes for this episode, so.
No, she fell asleep
insane.
outside after waiting all night for the
Yeah, she is insane,
ghost guy.
as the professor, Teacher Lover said.
Yeah. I wonder if she's not affected by cold now as a result of being revived. I don't know.
Or maybe she's always cold, Bridget. Ooh.
I'm cold.
I'm cold. What is that from?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? You're welcome. Okay, so Rachel, I want to say I did 100% agree with you that at first I thought it was the professor had killed her. And I'm still not 100% sure that that's not the case.
Same.
I'm wondering if she doesn't know how she died. She just knows that she did, and he did, like, what if he came up behind her or whatever? But my other thought is she was so sad because he tried to break it off that she offed herself.
That was my first instinct. I don't know.
Was my
so I can't
other
say.
thought. So I'm not 100% sure, but those are my theories on M/Martha.
Because she's clearly has two sides of her. One is the stable, I love my family side, etc., etc. School is, but like she has this other side of her that's kind of crazy and stalkery and willing to have affairs with professor lovers.
I'm not even willing to say that, Dave, because like he is a grown man who should not be interacting with his students.
I agree,
in this way.
but he
So
said
it's
something.
definitely an abuse of power.
Well,
He
she
said
says
that
something
she
in this
started to
episode
get
too.
dangerous. Or
Yeah,
right?
that's what he says in
He
the
called
episode.
her scary.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sorry, but coming from him, that's not super like he probably ghosted her and she freaked out, right? 'Cause that's what happened.
Or he's married or whatever. And he's just a scumbag.
And she's like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "Whoa, little girl, calm down." You know, like it. I didn't like that whole
Well,
conversation.
don't make any mistakes, because I'm not making a moral judgment here. I'm just saying, just like
Yeah.
pointing out little breadcrumbs about like who this person is, and like, is she dangerous to herself? Is she dangerous to others? Is she doing things that might be a little bit too, like, okay, it's one thing to be a victim of a power imbalance, but it's another thing to go the other way and maybe hurt other people to get back at that person, or get back or
Well,
hurt herself. Is
I also wonder
thought.
what the condition is that her dad is referring to. Is she pregnant?
I was thinking depression.
Oh,
really?
Wow. Yeah, I assumed it was mental health.
Yeah.
But whoa, Rachel, wouldn't that be crazy if
Mhm.
it's the professors?
Yeah.
I did have that thought. We should take a break though, and Bridget, you should go to the chat
Oh, okay.
if you don't mind. Sorry.
There's a lot of conversation about the shows that we went over earlier. I'm gonna just leave it. You guys enjoyed Glitch.
I think we
That's basically the
recapped it
sum
a little
up of
bit
it.
with Jason.
Tess asked where Sharon D is. Sharon D is currently on vacay, and so she is not going to be here. She did say she would join next week, but I know she's going out of town shortly thereafter. So I don't know if it's
She said when
gonna-
she came back, but I don't know when that's.
I don't know if it's
It's
going to
gonna
work
be after
out.
I think Tuesday next
I don't
week. I
know.
think so.
It could be like in a couple, maybe not next episode, but maybe the episode after. I'm
I
not
do want to catch up with the show, by the way, too, before before that time somehow. So
Jermaine is here, and he says, "Hey guys, long time no talk. How have you been?" Hi,
I
Jermaine.
did see that come
Thanks
in.
for being here.
What's up, buddy?
Tess is wondering if there will be some dream and a dream situations to make it even more
To piss off
complicated.
Sharon D.
It's gonna make Sharon D super mad.
Yeah.
Especially if it's pink. If it's pink on pink,
Oh yeah.
I'm in.
Forget
Let's go.
Done for.
And then Neo is asking, well, if survivors can remember how they died, then M should remember doing it to herself. Correct? Which
This
is
is the
true.
thing. This is what I was
Yeah.
saying about, like, oh, it's a Chekhov's gun, because what if you fall asleep when you die? And she probably fell asleep on that bench and doesn't remember dying. That's kind of what I was
Oh,
thinking with the
I see
Chekhov's
what you're
gun.
saying. She knew that she was a reviver.
I don't think
Mhm.
she
Like-
knew. Did she?
I felt like she did in her delivery of like, don't tell dad. Like she didn't want her sister to know.
Oh,
Right.
I feel like
But she
didn't-
also looked pretty panicked when she got stabbed.
So maybe she
So I'm not sure.
maybe
Now,
she didn't know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. If she knew.
I had assumed she did know. But
I
Maybe
did
from
too
the
until
bathtub
just now.
experiments, that's kind of where I was thinking.
that's why I felt like she knew, is because her roommate comes in and is complaining about the revivers. And she is like really
I wish she would have stayed dead, their classmate
Yeah.
or
she's
something.
really like she's like really disengaged in that. And so I was like, okay, so do you feel like she's talking about you? That's why I assumed. But she's also like a depressed person, obviously, so I'm not really sure. It's like hard
Yeah.
to get a read on her.
Yeah, I did see. Okay, so well, let's go back to what I said earlier about what did we finish with the chat? Sorry.
That's it.
Okay. How far have you guys gotten?
In the show?
Yeah,
I
just the
watched it
first.
the first episode.
You said to stop.
That's amazing.
Okay. You have reamed us out for less
You
than
just-
that,
yeah.
sir. So
I'm
of
saying I'm
course I
impressed.
You caught me at the right time. I hadn't already binged it when you said that. So.
stopped. That's true.
Point taken. I don't ream out people who, I didn't say at first, but like I do ream out people who say, I promise I won't watch the next episode. I watched everything. I don't care, Dave.
Well, I watched
No,
it
if I
before
say
I
I
talked
won't,
to you
I
about
won't.
it, so
I'm not gonna.
Let's be real. The times that you do watch ahead, it's like I missed you saying that. That's all it was. If I make fun
Yeah.
of it, I'm just being funny.
Yeah,
It's not.
I wouldn't do it maliciously.
Yeah.
No.
Well, ha ha. He told me not.
I know
to, but
Bridget
I'm
would.
going to.
Like if I pissed Bridget off in a certain way, she'd
if
be
you
like,
made me mad,
If
yeah,
you
I
pissed me
definitely
off,
would.
I
"Oh,
might.
I'm gonna watch the whole
Yeah,
thing."
I might
Makes
do
me
it.
feel good. There's a little anti-authoritarian streak in Bridget.
I do have to say,
Too much to do.
I did want to watch the next episode.
Same.
I do want to watch it. It's I've missed Sci-Fi Network. I've
Same.
missed them.
Have
them.
any of you watched The Expanse?
No.
I did. I started it. I didn't get very far in it. But it
It's
was pretty
tough.
good.
It's a
dry.
great start, by the way.
It's dry in a way that Battlestar Galactica was able to break out of, if that makes sense.
It does. There's a rhythm that has to be established, and I think The Expanse is one of those shows that tries to throw you off of a rhythm every season. Every season has a different theme, but obviously there's a overall arc of where this whole thing is leading up to. It's really unconventional, and of course things work. I highly recommend people just start watching it. I mean, it's sci-fi. It's SCI-FI on SYFI network.
Did you grow up watching Sci-Fi Network, Rachel?
Not really. Not a lot.
Okay.
Ish.
We didn't have cable for a lot of my life, so I didn't always have it. But it was one of those channels that,
Same.
like, if we went to a hotel or something, I was
Oh.
watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no.
I was watching either Cartoon Network or
See, I didn't
Nickelodeon, depending on my age. But I was also definitely watching Sci-Fi.
I didn't know what I didn't have. I wanted to watch MTV because I would
Oh,
go to my
sure.
friend's house and we could watch MTV over there. And Beavis and Butthead and Ren and
Yep.
Stimpy were not allowed in my house.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's
By the
what I
way-
was watching.
As an adult, I agree with Ren and Stimpy at least.
Oh yeah, it's totally
it
inappropriate.
is
However,
demonic.
yeah.
I did teach some of my students the log song.
Oh yeah, that's fairly harmless.
I
But you
wasn't
didn't
allowed
show
to
them
watch The
images.
Simpsons either.
No,
Oh,
I was very
that's
sheltered.
that's sad. That was one thing I was allowed to watch, surprisingly.
you talk
So
about dry.
whenever I had the chance, I was watching MTV. Sci-fi.
That's fair. I watched
It
a lot of
wasn't
TRL.
rebellious enough.
Watched a
Yeah,
lot of
TRL when I got older.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's for the adults.
Okay, I was just curious because, like, Dave and I think have a fondness naturally for this network because of watching it when we were younger. And honestly, I haven't watched a sci-fi TV series since Z Nation.
Was that sci-fi also?
Oh, was it sci-fi?
No, I didn't
Okay,
know
I
that.
did watch Z Nation.
Well, I mentioned the
Well, it's
Expanse
the
because that was
Asylum. It's the Asylum, and Asylum had like those contracts with Sci-Fi. Remember, because Asylum did Sharknado, and the Sharknado movies were aired on Sci-Fi.
Oh, that's
channel.
right. Sharknado movies were Asylum. That's funny. Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
and that's all
so
they play
Asylum-
now.
Asylum owns Z Nation, and they also own Black Summer, but Black Summer wasn't aired live because it was a Netflix.
Exclusive,
contract.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned the Expanse because that was the last just stellar show that was available on Sci-Fi. And you're talking about like it's a decade old, I think, is when it started.
Yeah,
I
it
remember
did.
right.
It did because my cousin tried to get me
2015.
to read the books, and that was around the time I moved down to North Carolina again.
And there's all these Telltale games too, I think, of the Expanse as well, if I'm not mistaken. Which, I mean,
That
ugh.
I'm not aware of.
Thomas Jane in the first season is just what a great avatar to kind of walk you through this universe too. I just have to say that out loud because
All right, enough about the
Stellar.
Expanse,
Anyway.
Dave. Rachel, Doc.
so yeah, how does there's also like Don't Tell Dad is also more than just what she says on the show. There's a
Oh, I thought it was about the banging. Well, almost.
well
banging.
that too. And Don't Tell Dad, I took the revival list from his desk as well,
Oh,
right?
sure. Yeah. Sure.
Don't Tell Dad I'm banging the scientist. What else we do not tell Wayne Cypress?
But she didn't bang the scientist.
But she almost.
Almost did.
Almost.
Ugh.
And
then
there's
her
still
dad
time.
called. There is still, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Again, like super, super tropey, right? We start the show off and she's trying to leave town, but something happens and she just can't. And then she almost hooks up with this guy. And then the next day you find out he's a major player on the show. Oh, awkward.
Yeah, I love it.
Super tropey.
Yeah, we love that,
yeah.
especially like with this genre.
I do too.
Yeah.
Despite the tone in my voice.
Like the tone of your voice
do- I do
belies
enjoy
your love
No.
for it. Like, ugh, super chubby, but I love it.
so-
I love it so much.
So clearly and obviously predictable.
Oh, sorry, I was a
I
little.
like
Yeah.
I don't mind a certain amount of predictability when I'm watching a show.
Well, what's that crime drama thing that you always watch? Dangerous Minds, or what was it?
Criminal Minds?
Criminal Minds. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Dangerous Minds. That's
mean-
like, wasn't that a movie?
It doesn't always have a super obvious ending. Sometimes they do trick you.
I mean, you could say that about any like true crime show.
Right.
Any fictional true crime show.
Procedural, right?
Procedural.
Yeah.
That's a better way.
Drama.
Yeah.
Crime
It's
dramas.
very but that's why I like it. Predictability.
Yeah.
Stability. I like it. I know what I'm getting into. I know what I can count on. I like it.
you had dropped Z Nation being I had no idea it was a sci-fi original. I guess it wasn't original. It was picked up by
like a branch of.
Yeah, it aired on Sci-Fi, but
I'm almost 100% sure. I'm gonna I have to check now.
I know that it
I'm almost
continued on
100%
Netflix.
sure.
I know Netflix picked it up for that last season, I think it was. But I mentioned this only to say that I had also said that this show, Revival, is a lot like a Z Nation that knows what it wants to be. Because Z Nation took itself way too seriously. Then it was
it aired on Sci-Fi.
super ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it just flipped like manic depressively between those two gears, let's say.
That's true.
But like this show had, if those two gears were a lot more tempered, it's a funny show. This show is funny. Revival is funny. Between Dana Cypress playing with the railroad spike as evidence, that's still evidence.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like on her mouth, like
He's
she's
like,
got it. Like,
I'm so sexy.
gross.
it's so funny.
She's like, I got a train to catch. Like,
I know it's
What,
so
do
cheesy.
you mean
I
by
really
that?
love the delivery too. It's like,
yeah.
but I have to say the actress playing the main character is perfect for the role, because if you've seen Winona Earp, which I'm pretty sure is also a sci-fi original series, I'm
Is it really?
100% sure.
Oh, right. Okay.
She had that kind of same cheesy, like tongue-in-cheek delivery in that show as well, and it's something she really excels at.
Absolutely. You know what? I just remembered another sci-fi original, if I'm not mistaken. It was the Chronicles of Sarah Connor? Sarah Connor Chronicles, wasn't it? The Terminator series, basically.
I do remember that. Yes,
That was on
Winona
Sci-Fi
Earp
as well.
Was on Sci-Fi as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember buying the DVD, but I
Well,
don't.
either way. So again, a Z Nation that knows what it wants to be and does it fairly decently. It's like, it's not trying to reach for the stars or trying to push you into this mode of being like, oh, okay, eye roll here, eye roll there. Eye roll, you're being too serious. Eye roll, you're being too ridiculous. It's just the right amount.
Revival has, you said it's based off of comic books, so
Right.
they have a template to follow. I think Z Nation was just like thrown together willy-nilly.
Well, it was like, let's take every zombie
you
trope. Let's take every zombie trope and cram them into one show.
Yeah.
But then,
but then let's like
then
kick
we're
it.
gonna make it like super ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna
there's gonna
just
be a
push the
giant
dial up.
cheese wheel.
Yep.
Yep.
The first episode has a zombie baby that is climbing up the walls and ripping somebody apart.
Well, and they subvert expectations because they like kill off the main character in the first episode or whatever. They do they do all of that stuff because those are things that you've come to know and love about zombie media. So I don't know. Sci-fi just they do have a template for what they like. It's funny because it's vastly different from what it was in the very early 2000s.
No kidding.
Because early 2000s was
mean
like
the
really
network
serious.
Sci-Fi network.
Sci-fi. Yeah, it was very serious sci-fi. It was
Twilight Zone
it was
marathons.
goofy. Yeah, it was Farscape and like it was goofy.
Okay.
Still. There was some goofiness, but
Jason, I want you to
think it
watch
was
Farscape.
I think it was a certain demographic that wanted to be taken more seriously, and now
correct.
Now this demographic is very popular. Most people like the weird and the
Shark
the sci-fi stuff, so they don't have to take themselves as seriously anymore.
Well, you can. Major motion picture studios started making sci-fi, so you can see sci-fi in high quality, which wasn't always the case. That's why Sci-Fi Channel existed, was to give people an opportunity to make sci-fi media with a lower budget.
Right.
And so, it often showed that it was lower budget in the cheesiness,
Ish, yeah.
but it was still great, like in its own way. And this is just kind of. I feel like this is an extension of that thought process. This like, you can still make these cheesy things, but now we're really leaning into the fact that it's a lower budget. Like, we're just really going to lean into these goofy aspects of it.
Well, it's also a little bit of like sink or swim. Like, okay, I'm going to compare it to how MTV leaned into the 16 and Pregnant. What is that show called? Is that what it's called?
Teen Mom.
Teen Mom or something like that. Whatever it is. But like all the reality,
both of them actually.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them that's on. Well, there's the one on
16 and Pregnant was the first one that came out. Then Teen Mom came out after that because they followed the moms who had gotten pregnant at 16, and so then Teen Mom took off because they wanted to. Those people were messy.
They did like They did like tons of seasons.
Yeah.
And they're still doing stuff. There's a chick on HGTV right now that was from Teen Mom.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
doing her own Oh, what?
Oh yeah, they made careers out of it. It's wild.
So my point is that like MTV used to be music television. That's why it was called MTV. And then as soon as it like held on to something that took off on their zeitgeist, which happened to be reality television, a form of like tragic reality television. Whether you look at it, it is tragedy, but like it's like consumable for people who are like Schadenfreude or whatnot, and then occasionally they get emotional over it. But that's what it turned into. Sci-fi, in a similar vein, put on Sharknado, and then they saw, oh my God, we can not only put this on, make tons of spin-offs, put it in theaters too occasionally, right? Some occasional. So we're making money that way. We're getting money on the front end. We're getting for the hardcore fans of this. And so like sci-fi in its own way was dangerously going the route of basically MTV, which it no longer resembles music television. Sci-fi at least had the sci-fi element of the Sharknado, right? Okay, that's somewhat sci-fi.
Well,
But it still
even though
occasionally
they-
threw out some blockbusters like Farscape, like Sarah
Battlestar
Connor Chronicles.
Galactica.
Right, exactly.
Battlestar Galactica was on Sci-Fi, and that is arguably probably one of the best sci-fi original series. I would argue. It was a remake, obviously, but
Right.
it's phenomenal. I just looked at their scheduling because I was like, what's even on? What's even on it anymore? Like, I don't even know.
Most of it's
and-
revival. Okay.
Yeah, actually, right now, honestly, that's what they're doing a lot of promotion for. There's a show called The Ark.
Oh, I
which
saw that too.
I
Okay.
I would argue looks very similar to the 100.
Oh, and they have the other show.
Astrid and Lily Save the World, which
going.
looks cutesy. Bates Motel is listed on their lineup. Battlestar Galactica, Chucky, the TV series, Cosplay Melee, because they do have some reality TV shows now. Day of the Dead, which like what?
I just saw that. Yeah.
The End Is Nigh, which is a Bill Nye show. Face Off, which is Face Off is arguably a very cool show. I really enjoy watching that,
Reality
actually.
television.
I'm
meets
sure you
sci-fi.
would be into that, Rachel. That's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
You
that's
should
all
be
special effects.
on
It's
Face
all.
Off.
I should, but it's all reruns now.
Yeah.
The show's
Yeah, I know it's not
on.
being filmed anymore. Game Face, which I'm unsure what that is, but it looks similar. Killjoys, The Magicians, which I loved.
I love the
I
Magicians.
loved The Magicians. That was a great
I tried
one.
to get Sharon to watch it. She did not dig it.
Oh, see, I loved that it was so that it takes
loved it.
elements from a lot of fantasy stuff that I grew up with. So like there's elements that are similar to Lord of the Rings. There's aspects of the story that are very similar to Chronicles of Narnia. Like I really
yes.
really
Yes.
enjoy it. Paranormal Witness.
All those shows.
Reginald the Vampire, which like I feel like I need to watch that.
That was with the guy that was from the new Spider-Man Marvel MCU. He's Peter Parker's friend. He plays Reginald the Vampire, I think.
Resident Alien, which I did watch a lot
Oh,
of
I like
Resident
that
Alien.
That's the one I was
Very
thinking of.
because
I do
Alan
like that
Tudyk
one.
is phenomenal.
From
Firefly
/
obviously.
Serenity. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah. I'm like, no, not from David. We're
Obviously.
going there.
Well, no, I didn't.
No, I just got
Revival
Oh,
is listed.
sorry.
so triggered.
A show entitled
That'd be something.
Surreal Estate.
Okay.
The
Surreal
Twilight
Estate?
Zone. Yeah. Van Helsing and Winona Earp. Now, I watched sci-fi during the time period of Dresden Files. I watched a lot of sci-fi during that. So when they got into the supernatural, which happened in maybe 2008, like around that time. So like Dresden Files, I'm trying to think. Sanctuary was a show that was on then.
Oh, which had we just saw him in another show, and I can't remember what. One of the actors from the first episode appears on a show we just covered. I can't remember which.
Anyway,
Sorry.
they're like very cheesy, very supernatural related. But anyway, I digress. We've gone on for a long time. About
Many
sci-fi,
people
don't
talk
Yeah,
about Eureka,
we're
by
talking
the
about
way.
not-
Eureka
yeah.
was
we?
also.
Loved Eureka.
And
Oh, wow.
my favorite.
Now it's my bedtime.
This is a deep cut, though. Sorry, deep cut. Earth Final Conflict, also a sci-fi, I think, series, if I'm not mistaken. Nobody knows what it is except for a few select fans who go, "I know Earth Final Conflict," and then like they'll DM me and be like, "Yeah, I know. It's great." It had it's a series from Gene Roddenberry, by the way. Sorry, yeah, was it Gene Roddenberry? Yes, that's right.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, Star Trek's own Gene Roddenberry, and he passed right when it sort of debuted, and first season, second season, then like the rest of the seasons are all kind of going off the rails. But I kind of liked watching it go off the rails. Anyway, love that. I've mentioned it on this podcast at least once, maybe twice. It's a deep cut fan favorite. You had to be there, kind of thing. Anyway, let's move on to something else. And I don't really imagine that we have too much to talk about. By the way, famous last words. I know Rachel's looking at me like, you mother effer.
Rachel's looking at you like I said it
Well,
was my bedtime, and
I know.
I'm just
So-
gonna steamroll right over.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he is.
I just
So, Rachel, I have a question then for you. Was there anything else about this episode that you were like really excited to talk about? Because you had said you're like, this is really straightforward. I don't even know what there is to talk about. But
Well, I just didn't. I mean, without. I mean, obviously, there's always things to like research and stuff. I know David spent hours looking
Tried
stuff
to.
up, but sometimes I just like to watch it and talk about what I watched. And
Yeah,
that just,
sure.
You know what I mean?
I agree, especially with this
And,
one.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just what you see is what you get, and I like that. It's why I appreciate the tropes and the over the topness sometimes, and the
Ish.
hilarious dialogue and the wonderful timing of everything. It's well done.
There's a
I
balance
did
to it,
enjoy
right?
it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I especially liked Derry.
That was one of the cameos I mentioned.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember
Okay.
what she called him, but I do hope we see Derry again.
You might. Okay, so to explain for the audience,
He's another officer, right?
he's the deputy.
oh,
He's the
scrawny-
sheriff's
The
deputy.
scrawny guy, right? The scrawny guy.
Well, no, not the scrawny guy. So,
Nuh-uh.
Bridget, you,
Oh,
you
okay.
haven't watched Letterkenny, right? This is what
I
Rachel's referring
watched
to.
like the part of the first season. I did
So
not
Derry's
understand
the guy
hype.
in the
I don't-
coveralls.
Oh, the big
Derry-
guy.
No.
That's overalls. Derry's in the coveralls.
the
like,
the jumpsuit uniform-ish thing.
yeah,
Yeah. The workman's uniform.
with the
his
rain boots.
Yeah, exactly, with the galoshes.
Yeah, galoshes.
So the cameo we're talking about is Nathan Dales, who plays Daryl on Letterkenny, often referred to as Derry. He's the kind of gingery, I don't know, can't explain it. But anyway, he plays Deputy McCrae. She goes, McCrae, ugh.
Cray.
And here's
Oh,
why.
that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's why it's a double cameo. Okay, first of all, he says, "You find your Seabiscuit horse killer yet?" And she goes, "Brush your teeth, McCrae." That's a double. It's an Easter egg and a cameo because it's often said on Letterkenny that Daryl has bad breath or Derry has bad breath. So it's just this great double. I hope we do get to see him again. Apparently, he has a name, so that's a thing. So.
Yeah, at least he's got a name. That means we might see him again.
Before you go, there is another cameo that you may not understand, but I did explain it in our Discord. And by the way, two things. If you tip us, your tip will show on screen with your message, and it'll interrupt us while we're talking. There's a QR code, and you can go to ko-fi.com/squawkingdead/tip to do that. Secondly, if you want, doing that will get you access to our Discord, which you can participate in. One of the Easter eggs
Killing me, Smalls.
One of the Easter eggs I had revealed was when Dana Cypress is talking to Ibrahim Ramin, and there's the evidence and going back and forth. He says, "If I tell you this, will you promise not to tell anybody?" If I show you this, she goes, "Scout's honor," does the "live long and prosper" sign, right? Which is a nod to her role, to Melanie Scrofano's role on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. She plays Captain Marie Battelle on that show, which is going into its third season very, very soon. She has a very straight-laced role, by the way, which is very not her, but here we are.
It's funny.
So, and she goes, "Scout's honor." It's not that, and he goes, "That's not."
And he's
that.
like, "That's
definitely
that's not what that is." I think he's my favorite so far. The Doctor's my.
You know, like
favorite.
little awkward guys that are nerdy.
I like. Yeah. Yep. I like him.
If he dies, will you like him more?
Probably. I mean, if I like him, he's probably already dead. I like.
You knew.
I know. I like his delivery. I like his lines and how he delivers them. He's doing a very good job, and he's funny.
It's very
and
quippy.
it's natural. Yeah.
Well then, Bridget, what is your favorite? Before Rachel goes, what is your favorite character on the series so far?
It's
Martha because she's the gothic.
It's actually not. Actually, it's not. If she was like just spooky and kind of fun, then maybe. But it's like the depressed, and I'm like,
It's like, oh, it's too close. Ugh.
it's like this is too realistic. I don't like it. Honestly, Randy.
Yes.
Randy?
The
Honestly,
core, the
the corner, the Emmy.
yeah. I go back.
Yeah.
I was gonna say medical examiner. Right.
The Emmy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about the like. he starts the cremation chamber, and then all of a sudden there's like the screaming from inside. And he's like, "Oh no, I've never stopped it before." I was like, something about his delivery was so funny.
The one-liners, just everything.
I
Just trying to
love
impress
him.
the
I just love him.
the chick with the
Yeah, it
camera.
was so weird and so cheesy, and also it was like a moment where you're proud for a person that you don't know, which is stupid.
That's
But I
cool.
was like,
No, that's
I'm
great.
like proud. I'm like happy for him. I'm like, good for you, dude. Like,
Aw.
you're making these ridiculously hilarious YouTube videos, and you're making things like skits about like collect divorced dad cards, which are like Pokemon cards, but like divorced
I've
dads.
seen that. Yes. He
He's
does this whole
hilarious.
thing
He's
about
so
divorced dad Pokemon cards ish.
He's so funny. So like to see him in this was just, I don't know. I'm just like proud of him.
That's
Proud of
really
you,
cool.
dude. You don't
Way to
know
go,
me.
dude.
What do you care? Yeah.
That's the
but
same
it's
thing.
fun.
Okay,
Good
remember
job.
Breaking Bad had? I know you got to go, Rachel. But Breaking Bad had a similar experience, right? Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul had that one actor who made a career out of his YouTube channel. Essentially, I forget what his name is, but then he shows up on What We Do in the Shadows as one of kind of a main cast character. I'll tell you his name after you go, Rachel, but you'll know who he is.
Anyway. Well, now it's time to say goodnight to Rachel and also
Night,
goodnight to
everyone.
Neo because he is going back to work.
Oh, sorry, you had to
Good night, dude.
go, bud, but thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And thank you for
All
coming,
right, next
Rachel.
time we'll start it on time. and we can
Yeah.
talk more.
We had some technical difficulties before we showed up.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Mwah, love you all.
Love you too.
Bye.
Been a while. Bye. Bye. By the way, I don't know what that we have much more to say. We should, you know what we should do? We should tell Rachel we didn't have much to say when we left. We just decided to end the
pretty
show.
much. Yeah.
It's like, why did you keep me on? I'm like, because we hate you / love you, actually.
Well, I wanted to make sure she got to say everything she wanted to say
No,
before we.
it's never
Ended.
possible.
I'm trying to think if there were any other things that I really wanted to talk about.
I
for
never
this
got to say
episode.
my favorite character.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. Go. Who's your favorite?
Do you know my
character?
favorite character on the show? Do you know what my favorite character is on the show?
Is it the dad? Is it the sheriff?
Close.
Okay.
Very close. He was like, I was
Okay.
like, instant, like, okay, yes. But no, it's Mayor Ken Dillish.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's so funny.
Why? But why? He is,
Well, one, I enjoyed the interviews. They're
yes,
amazing.
100%.
Like playing it up to the people, 100%.
But it's more the actor because he is the ultimate sci-fi B-roll actor, that guy.
He's that guy.
He's played by Conrad Coates. What is it about guys named Coates?
I don't know. We love that name.
He's a major that guy. Let me just give you like the highlights of what he's been in.
Okay.
Essentially. In the voice. It's like David, what was his name? Who just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. What is his name? David something or other. Wait, let me just
I don't know, Dave.
Google
I'm
his
so
name.
Sorry. I did not keep up with that Hollywood Walk of Fame.
It is Keith David. Keith David. You know his
Oh,
voice
Keith
as well.
David.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He just got his Hollywood Walk of Fame star for some reason, alongside Demi Moore, which is weird.
He's that guy.
He's that guy, so he should get that too. Conrad Coates, the first. He's in Revival, Star Wars Outlaws, Locked in My House, Fargo. Let me just see.
Oh, the TV show Fargo?
Yes.
Okay.
Stimulant. Let me see. The Mistletoe Murders. But again, he's
That
like
sounds
the
like
ultimate.
Hallmark.
He's
That's
been
a
in
Hallmark.
everything. In the Dark, The Expanse.
okay.
He's in Far Cry 6, the video game,
Okay.
as Jorge El Tigre Aguilar. You'll probably notice if you play the game. Jupiter's Legacy, which I thought was a great reach for Netflix because they came out with an anime, they came out with a show, a series, they came out with a movie. They tried to do something that didn't quite get picked up. Let's see, one more, maybe two more. The Nexium. Oh, escaping the Nexium cult, a mother's fight to save her daughter. Interesting. Ransom. Oh, Welcome to Marwen. That movie with Steve Carell, I think it was. Yes, that's right. He played Demetrius Johnson. Killjoys. He was Seon Faresh. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, the TV series with what's his name from The Office?
John Krasinski.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Star Trek.
That I will know.
Star Trek Discovery as Admiral Terrell. Okay. Designated Survivor as General Tobias Beckwith. Again, this guy, Dark Matter as Ruach. The Christmas Cure.
Oh, I do remember him from Designated Survivor, actually, now that you say that.
But man, that X-Men Apocalypse, geez Louise, as Pentagon General Fields. Again, that voice and that like general.
He's usually in a position of power.
Yeah, like a general or a officer, or now he's a mayor, which I like that now he's schlock a bit. He's like, if anything, I'm doing you a favor. But he doesn't sound like that at all. He sounds sexy and smooth and I love his voice. It's just his voice.
He's got a great voice.
Come on. That's why I mentioned Keith David, because they just have that vibe. It's like, I can do anything. I could rule the world. If he could run for president.
If someone would just give me a megaphone.
Someone just walk into the White House, bro. Nobody will know differently. Yes, I'm President I'm Conrad Coates. The name itself sounds presidential. Let's roll with it. That's why he's playing the mayor. Anyway, that's why I like him that much. I don't know what his deal is too, because I guess it's like that whole let's downplay everything. Does that not sound familiar?
Well, he's giving very much Mayor from Jaws.
Yeah.
The tourists.
Yeah, we're gonna lose money on this.
I need the tourism money.
I mean, and he's not wrong too, because I mean they were locked down for what 35 days since Revival Day,
which is crazy, but. Yeah, it was really interesting. I don't know. This was kind of an interesting premise. I know
how everybody's ready to move on.
This is like a trope. But
we're the trope.
when we're thinking, but when we're thinking about one, COVID wasn't that far gone that we kind of can relate to this being forced to be in your house thing, which was horrible. And then also on top of that, you're trying to leave town. You want to move away from your family.
Chicago specifically, by the way.
Chicago, yeah. And let me state, they are in Wausau, which is a town in Wisconsin.
I could not wait.
Which when I saw it, I was
reaction.
where are the accents? There's not enough accents. Everyone should
so
sound
close.
like this, but they don't. No one sounds like this.
Everyone sounds a little too Canadian.
But that's how it should sound. And so
Bridget knows.
Yeah. It was really, it's just one, it's always funny for there to be a Wisconsin town, because it's never what a Wisconsin town looks like. And then two, it's kind of an interesting take on a done premise. This idea of we're going to leave town and now suddenly you can't. Okay, well, she literally cannot. It's just completely denied leaving town at all.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a Fargo element to it too, which I kind of like the 2-syllable name, like Wausau, Fargo. So it's somewhere up there where it's always feeling like it's always cold, which isn't wrong in the Midwest. So
yeah,
which is why I actually thought initially was this Alaska or something, where it's always snowing.
Oh, and it seemed dark all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly.
No, that's just how it is in Wisconsin.
Yeah, just frozen solid in December, basically.
Yeah,
in January.
And everyone is drinking. It's the bars would be hopping.
Yeah, and the drinks are fairly inexpensive. Last I remember.
True, my favorite thing. That stands the test of time, actually, Dave.
The cheapest vodka soda I've ever had was in Kansas, actually. $2.35.
Wow.
I know.
It's a $3 real drink, usually, in Wisconsin.
Like a normal priced drink, yeah. Which is just blows my
$3 rail.
mind.
So whatever your rail vodka is or whatever in a soda.
This is, by the way, we're giving you all cultural
context.
context.
When I say rail, I mean well or rail.
Yeah.
Rail is the term that was used in Wisconsin.
That's right. That's right.
That's where I did a lot of my drinking. So,
it's a rail drink or a well drink. Yeah.
A well drink is also the terminology used for that.
Yeah. Again, cultural context, everybody.
Yeah.
to get into the headspace of somebody from the Midwest. I could see your accent dripping out every now and again. Hopefully, as we watch the show, because it would be so funny to call you out on it.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
It comes and goes. It comes and goes.
Uh,
My mom has now told me that I am losing it more now.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
It's
'cause I've
just
been
funny
back in the
when it
South.
comes in. And just all randomly. Just like, oh my gosh. What?
Yeah.
Don't
yeah,
you
I
know?
remember when I came to visit North Carolina as a teenager and I saw my best friend that apparently I said, "Oh no." She would not let it go. She kept saying like, "Say oh no again. Say oh no again."
Yeah. By the way, talk about the Midwest, like Chicago, Michigan. Whenever I'd visit, they would hear the New York in my voice, and they could just anybody who was stuck on it could not let it go. And they're like, "Hey, say Coney Island again. Hey, say coffee again. Say awning. Say laundry. Oh,
Meanwhile,
say
I'm
laundry
like,
again.
"Dave, say tap it. Tap it.
Say tap it, tap
Tap
it,
it."
little girl. It's me, your old pal." It's so good. Did you see how I ended up editing it, by the way?
No, I didn't.
You saw the clip, though. for
I
that.
did.
I know.
I did.
We're having a side conversation, everybody. Just hold on. So you saw the clip.
Idiot.
No, I'm not your old pal. You're a creepy old talkie man. Anyway. Okay, you should go through the end of the episode at the very least, because that was the part I couldn't get notes on. And
Okay.
I remember she accosts a man on the list. She goes, I forget what, there's like 4 names on the list of people who she accosts.
yes. Okay, sorry, I had to think on it. Yeah, so she finds a man on the list who has been in the wind because he had been in prison
Right.
and died in prison.
And
and
he was
then
of the 4 people that they haven't had a count of.
came back to life, but nobody had found him. So he was in the wind. Turns out he's living in like a little shed in the woods. And she grabs him and is like, "What are you doing eating this horse or whatever?"
Was
in the
it
woods?"
was it the Miles Miller character, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
MYLES for some reason.
And he denies knowledge of the horse. Now he does know that there was a truck out there. And so he does tell her that there was a truck. And anyway, this leads her to one, rough him up quite a bit, cuff him, and then she's going to take him back to prison because he died once. Although that's not going to stand up in court.
Right. Maybe. We don't know.
Maybe served his full term. I don't know.
Time served. You died
so
in prison.
I don't know. Could have been a loophole. I'm not sure. There's no precedent. And
I think there is, but it doesn't matter.
So she then finds out that it's a farmhouse. Now there's a couple different things that are happening at the same time. There's a lot of like cutaways happening.
Right.
Okay, so the woman who unfortunately her husband died the day before the revival time frame
came to the sheriff's office or the police station.
She's been begging for her, like, "Are you sure?" Well, she digs up his body and has him in the house
just in case,
because she's just so sure that he's going to come back, which is so sad. It's just heartbreaking.
Which again, it's been 35 days too, so
we find this out and we're not sure, like, is this going to be like, is he like, did he come back like too early and is he like not right in the brain or something like that? Is kind of what you're left thinking.
Possibly,
but no,
right.
It's literally just his body. It's a horrifyingly sad scene.
It's creepy and sad simultaneously.
Yes.
And done well.
Okay, what is the character's name?
Which one?
The main character.
Oh, her name is Dana Cypress, Officer Dana Cypress. She's not a deputy. She's not a lieutenant. I looked it up.
Yeah.
She's not a sergeant. Yeah. She's just Officer Cypress.
Officer. Dana has found her sister. They're hanging out together because they're going to go plan a vacation to Myrtle Beach, which I also loved. And what ends up happening is they get sidetracked because she figures out that they need to go check in on this family because something weird's going on, something fishy. The truck with the the horse isn't there anymore.
The
but it
person who left the
was.
horse to cover up what happened, that
Yeah.
they may be harboring
Yeah.
one of the remaining 3 revivers, whose
One of
names
the
are Stephen Crowhurst, Victoria Genevieve, and Josh Turpin. Those are the other 3 aside from Miles. Just wanted to put that out there.
So they get to this house. These people are being very suspicious. There's lots of noise in the background, and they're like, "It's nothing. Don't worry about it." It's like
Also
so
wearing the
funny.
same clothes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's like super weird. It's so weird. So Dana ends up going into the barn to investigate. Turns out it's a revived, but they said that she didn't come back quite right.
Maybe that's how she died.
And that's
Deranged?
true because she is deranged. She's also attacking everyone and creepily up on the ceiling.
Right.
Like it gave her spider powers or something. I'm not really sure.
Let's pause here for a minute because there's 2 things I wanted to say before we continue. Because Chekhov's gun, right? What is Chekhov's gun if not the kicking the crematory oven door from the inside to get out shows that these people have heightened strength at the very
Super
least.
strength,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Now you get to the end and you realize, okay, that strength means also maybe dexterity or whatever. So she's climbing up the walls, etc., etc. And then you see how deranged she is. And then something earlier that the scientist Ibrahim Ramin says, he says it, but Dana cuts him off. She goes, depending on the severity of the injury is how long it'll take to heal. So the crematory guy had not quite healed up when he was running around and Dana almost runs him over. Those 2 facts all together make me think, my first thought after they take down the old woman who was running around and everything, Spider Woman, what does that mean for Martha? What is she to expect, right? Out of this transformation, are things going to get worse for her? Does she have super strength?
Well, that's where you're left wondering. Like, is this just a one-off? Like, this is just a woman with dementia who happened to revive and she's not okay? Because her teeth, she's yanking her teeth out and saying, they won't stop coming back. Like, it's like killing her that they're coming back.
Right.
Which is super weird. So you're left thinking like, okay, is this like a dementia case? Is she like sundowning? Like what's going on in this situation?
Yeah,
you know?
or are they hurting her and that's how she died? Ugh.
I don't know. You're left kind of with more questions than you had at the beginning of the episode. And either way, I think you're kind of left to go, okay, so what's going to happen with M?
Right.
Because M is maybe not mentally well either. So does this play at that? Does this kind of dig into your mental health and like worm its way in? Or is this just a one-off? Because everyone else that we've seen so far seems to be normal.
Yeah, aside from the one old lady, and that could be a one-off too. I don't know.
Now, some of this does remind me of a movie that came out maybe 2010, maybe before, called American Zombie. It was a mockumentary style film about zombies in the US, and that zombies became like recognized citizens of the United States. There's a zombie apocalypse, but they just want to be normal people. They're just normal people, man. And so they do this mockumentary style film where they follow this zombie around, and he's like, I just want to be normal. It's people are afraid of me and they shouldn't be. And anyway, the filmmakers go to a festival that all the zombies are going to, and as you can guess,
it goes
they're
awry.
Killing people. They're killing people. They are not.
I think I saw this.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a great movie at the time. I saw it on Netflix, I think, back in the day, but I really enjoyed it. This kind of reminded me of that, where you're left thinking, okay, so is this going to be like you need to feast on flesh to maintain life?
Because the first thought you think of when you see the horse having been bitten, right?
Yeah, is like, why is the horse bitten?
Why are there teeth inside the wound?
Yeah, why is she just going crazy? Yeah, exactly. Why are there teeth in it? So we're left kind of thinking a lot of different things. So I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I don't know. I am excited to find out.
Yeah, well, and a good setup too for a series. You front loaded all the characters, the twist at the end ish, right? We didn't feel like it was a twist, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah. I get the intention.
Yeah.
The intention.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say something else about that too. And who's the John Doe that they put in the thing? Put in the cremator, the oven, the incinerator. Is that what you call it? I don't know.
What? I'm sorry. What did you ask?
The John Doe that they shoved into that Randy shoved in the beginning scene too. Like you see him running around, then you don't hear from him again.
Oh, yeah, I'm unsure. I was curious about that because I'm like, is it the severity of the wound or because he was revived at that moment, is he going to be burned forever?
Great question, because he even mentions, and I love how he mentions names, and I don't have enough time to look them up to see if they have any lore correspondence, but he mentions a guy named, well, first of all, he says, what is it? I thought, Jerry Bowers. He meant Jerry Bowers. He didn't feel any pain. You could stab him. He didn't feel anything. Apparently, you need to feel pain to live, because if you don't feel pain, you don't know what to look out for. And then, just like a Chekhov's gun, the guy ends up not being dead. And, well, did he die from the incineration and then get revived, et cetera, et cetera? Let me get into that in a second, because there's two moments that sound dodgy. But what was I going to say, though, about that? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there was another name that he mentions. There's another name, like the headstone, Joe Myers headstone in the foreground as he show the Randy's crematorium in the background, the initial scene that comes up. Just little things like that. Like, there's so many names that get dropped that there's just absolutely no... If we prepared a little bit more, we'd have more time to actually look them up. But I don't know. But yeah, then who is that? Who killed him? Right? Who killed the John Doe within the first 2 weeks? Are the victims that died? Because it's an awful lot. 47 people died in a 2-week span in this one town.
I'm guessing that they have the answers already.
Right. That it's like
we got a time jump. So, like, we don't know what happened, but that doesn't mean that the town doesn't know what happened.
Well, in the 2-week span, there are 47 47 are registered. So that means like 51. There's 4 extra names on the list that haven't been accounted for that died that we know of in that 2-week time period of the revived, right? So that seems a little high to me, though, right? And then they mentioned the case that she couldn't solve, Dana Cypress couldn't solve, which is the Black Deer case. Her dad mentions it in passing, the sheriff, and it's like, oh, you want to cut and run because of it.
Well, this is all going to tie in.
Yeah, I figured.
All of it's going to tie in. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, are these people the victims, or many of them the victims of this, whatever the killer is, or the incident, or whatever it was? Yeah. Interesting. So again, great setup. Just casually dropping all these little events and things. The lesser guy sounding like Jack LaLanne, like the modern Jack LaLanne.
Yes. Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else so far. Yeah.
I think that's really it.
Yeah. I will say, there is a great cameo, which is why I stopped watching episode 2. There's a great cameo at the beginning of the second episode that ties into the Walking Dead universe. So I hope you watch along with us and check out this series alongside us and give us your thoughts on this mother of a series that I think is easily digestible and yet still has watch value. It's not like a procedural where you can be like, oh, great, I could turn off my brain now. No, you could keep your brain on, but there's some funny moments to laugh at and also cool things to dig in on, which is why I wanted to cover this series. And also Sci-Fi could use a little bit of a boost, and maybe we'll reach out to them and see what they've got in the on the burner.
Oh yeah, we could.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
If you like going live with us, I'll go ahead and mention now that every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do go live on my channel, which is youtube.com/@PunkyBrewster, PUNKYBRUISETER. And I'm currently every Friday night doing a show entitled Limited Series Lounge, which focuses on tightly wrapped little neat stories that are considered limited series. So a singular season. So when you think of a show like The Ones Who Live, that would be a limited series. It wrapped up in one season. That's all that was meant to be told with that show. And so that's what a limited series is. And so we just wrapped up the first one that we had ever done, which was BBC's 13, which was a crime drama.
It just started your next one too. Last Friday.
A fictional crime drama. And now we've moved on to a true crime limited series entitled The Jinx, which we're only going to cover season 1 at first, but I have a feeling we're going to have to cover season 2 because there's no way Takira is going to let me leave that story as is from season 1.
Well,
There's absolutely no way.
You have to cover the news that came in between season 1 and season 2 about the season 1 run.
Well, that's the season 1 ending wrap up. Is all of that.
Awesome.
So I'm excited to cover it. I know what happens. Takira does not. So it should make for a really interesting story. I know. I'm excited.
Me too.
Anyway, we'll continue to cover that. We will be covering episode 2 this Friday.
That's right. Follow along her journey. It's youtube.com/@the_Punky Brewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER. But also follow her on, I'm going to just do this now, ko-fi.com/Punky Brewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER, because she's been leaving these little posts and you can just follow her for free and keep up with her. And these posts are so adorable and I love them so much. They're so little Bridgety and cute and nuggety. And she keeps you posted on the things that are coming up. And maybe you can leave comments about where she should go. She'd very much appreciate it.
I do take viewer comments into consideration. So
and feature requests or viewer requests.
Yeah. Someone actually who has not come back but was on like a random episode they just found us said, would you cover Over the Garden Wall? And I was like, why, yes, I would cover Over the Garden Wall.
I've been thinking about watching it, so yeah, maybe.
I love it. Cool. Well, if that's the case, Dave, you let me know.
Maybe. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. What an excuse.
It's very, very fun.
I've been watching some cool things myself, but maybe we can talk about it more on our Discord in the off-topic, I can't talk anymore. The off-topic section. We've been updating our channels and revamping them and trying to make them a little bit easier to manage and stuff like that. So, hey, leave us a tip if you feel like you're loving this at ko-fi.com/squawkingdead/tip, or join our membership tier at ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead. For just as little as $4 a month, you can get forever access to our Discord. Along with the tips, you will also get Discord access, but you'll get more access when you join our Walkers channel. If you happen to join the Whispers, Grade M, or Survivors tier, you will get a free classic t-shirt upon signing up. If you happen to join the Survivors or Grade M tier, again, these tiers will change actually in coming days, but you know what? Just join anyway. Why not? Because those two tiers, you'll be able to join alongside us as we talk about things like Revival, or The Ones Who Live, season 2, which is not happening, or any other damn thing, because we will keep you posted in our Discord when we are about to record, when we will record, and you will join us with your camera, head, mic, mouth, body feature, and in real time tell us how wrong we are about something. And speaking of wrong, if you don't want to do any of that, you should, but if you don't, head on over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. 5 stars and what was a feature of this episode? A hoodie. I know there is no hoodie emoji, but there was a hoodie that was displayed in this episode that is an Easter egg for things to come. It's a little Easter egg from the comic books about who wears that hoodie later on.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up the comic books now so I can be your comic book gal, because that's usually who I am. Yeah.
If you want a teaser of who wear that hoodie and who wears that hoodie afterwards, Cooper picks it up basically from a box, and as they're moving out, right? And he shows it to his mom. He's like, this is pretty cool. She goes, yeah, there's a reason why it's in that box. It's in him. But in the key art, you'll see who is actually wearing it later on. Kind of cool. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so 5 stars and hoodies, all we need to know that you love us, but tell us what you like, tell us what you didn't like, tell us what you think we might have missed. We definitely missed things, and I would very much love to hear what we did miss so that we can talk about it later in the comments and also in our Discord and also on social media so you can say how wrong and right we are. But remember to do it after every single episode of Revival that we were talking about, or any episode in general. And that's really it. I've been your host, David Cameo, and I was joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Burt, and Bridget.
And me.
ko-fi.com/Punky Brewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER, and youtube.com/@Punky Brewster, PUNKYBRUISETER. I love her so much, and she's doing some great things, and you should really follow her and subscribe to her channel, goddammit, please. Take it ready.
Some people did, so I'm appreciative of that. Thank you to everyone who listened today.
It's like binge watching podcasts, baby. You're finally caught up with Squawking Dead enough to follow and subscribe to Bridget's Journey. I love it so much. Take care, everybody. We'll see you real soon, and hopefully we'll have a lot. We'll be a little bit more prepared for the next one than we were for this one because it's my fault, guys. As much as I rail on my fellow co-hosts, or it seems like I do at least, it's out of love.
Wasn't us for once.
We just literally, we came, was like, hey, why don't we should talk about this. I did prepare you, but we didn't really prepare in advance when we would record. And anyway, we'll see you real soon to talk about the next one. Bye, everybody. See you real soon. See you real soon. Join us in our Discord. Yeah, the only way to do that is to tip us, or at least join a membership
That
tier.
particular spell involves a lot of glitter.